Hey, in this video, I want to show you how to hold the pick when you play guitar. I'm going to show you what you need when you're doing lead guitar versus rhythm guitar, and hopefully we'll keep this really simple so you can understand exactly what you need to do. Let's answer a lot of your questions that you might have about this. So let's start by what we have to do when we're playing rhythm guitar. So when you're playing rhythm guitar, the first thing I want to mention is you want to have a thin pick for strumming stuff. If you're doing like general, like open chord type stuff, then what you want is a thin pick, less than 1 millimeter thick. The thinner the better a lot of times for doing stuff like that. Because you want a pick that actually has some flexibility in it, so that when you put it against the strings, we kind of want the strings to push the pick around and bully it a little bit, because when we do that, we're going to actually get a smoother sound. Okay, so that's great for that style of playing. Thin pick and smooth type of sound. Now when you hold the pick, when you're holding the pick for strumming, what you want to do is you don't want to hold it too, oh, you can't see that, you don't want to hold it too high on the pick, meaning I don't want to just have the tip of the pick. I want to have a little bit more than that exposed, so that when you play, you're going to get more of a smooth, like buttery type of sound. If I'm too high up on the pick, I'm gonna choke it down too much. And there's also a good chance that my hand is going to catch the strings when I'm strumming, right? There's a good chance my hand's going to, boom, catch the strings. So what I want to do instead is just hold it high enough that it won't catch the strings, and we get that nice smooth sound. So that's how we do rhythm picking for strumming, or how we hold the pick for rhythm when we're strumming and doing like chords and things like that. But let's talk about if we're doing rhythm guitar and we want to do like some chugs, some metal stuff, some rock stuff. How do we do that? Well, now we'd want to switch to a thicker pick, and this would be 1 millimeter or higher. And in this case, it could be as high as 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters even. You want a thick pick because the thicker the pick is, the more you push the strings around and bully the strings versus the strings pushing your pick around. Okay, so now with this pick, it's kind of hard to see in the light, but with this pick, it's not going to get bullied. Okay, so now I have control over the strings, which is what we want for something where we have to chug. Okay, now when it comes to how you hold the pick, what you want to do is hold the pick, in this case, with less of the pick tip exposed. So I'm going to use a different color pick just so you can see it clear. So I don't want to be too far back like I just was with the chords, because I need more control over the pick. Everything's got to be a little tighter, a little bit more efficient when we're playing faster and when you're doing chugging and like more demanding type of picking. So I'm going to be a little tighter on the tip of the pick. Okay. So it's just a little choked up on it a little bit more. And we don't have to worry as much about hitting and muting the strings accidentally, because a lot of times we're already going to be muting with this part of our hand. Okay, now in both of these cases that I was just showing you, notice that I was holding the pick between my first finger and my thumb, which is important because sometimes you see people that hold the pick between their second finger and their thumb. Sometimes they're using 2 fingers. You don't want to do that. For the most part, you don't want to do that because the main reason is 99.9% of the time it works out really well if people hold it between their thumb and their first finger. It just works. It's more ergonomic. It like sets your hand up to be able to do a variety of different things that we do on guitar with the most ease. So it just plain and simple works. So if I was starting someone from scratch, or trying to help someone have better habits when they play, I would get them to this as quick as possible to start off with, first finger and thumb. Can you see other people that make the second finger and the thumb work? Yeah, but they're going to be at a disadvantage for certain things, and you'll find that I can think of some great players that started off that way even and actually developed it to a high level, but then ended up switching over at a certain point to this because they noticed the limitations that they had. And when you're really trying to build your technique the right way, it's just better to start from that first finger and thumb. Okay, so we've covered the rhythm part of this. Now let's talk about what to do with the lead guitar part. So let's look at the principles for a second. We talked about when we're playing loose rhythm, just strumming chords, we can use a thinner pick because it's okay if the strings push our pick around a little bit. And we can be up a little higher on the pick. We don't have to be choked down on it because we don't care. It's like looser, it's freer type of playing. But when we are playing, when we're doing the chugging, we choke down on the pick a little bit more. We got a thicker pick because we want more control over the string. And so when we're playing lead guitar, especially rock lead guitar or any type of lead guitar where we might want to go in and out of playing a little faster, little bursts, we're going to need more control over the string than the string has over us. So it's going to be really similar to the metal chugging stuff. What we want is a thick pick, something that's at least a millimeter, 2 millimeters, something like that, at least a millimeter thick or higher. And we want to choke down on the pick a little bit more. We don't want to have, too much of the face of the pick exposed. Then what you want to do is you get your hand set up and you basically try to keep your hand as close as possible to the strings as you play. And if we're using that setup, first finger and index, it's really similar to what we do when we're doing the chugging. We're choked up. The only difference I make is I thumb mute when I'm doing lead guitar for the most part. And the thumb muting makes it easier to control the pick and keep the string open without palm muting it, right? So this part of my hand is in contact with the strings, and that mutes them all out as I'm playing. So got to keep the thumb right there, and that mutes everything out. So those are the basics of how to hold a pick for lead guitar and for rhythm guitar, and hopefully you got the principles from it too. Whether you're controlling the string or the string is controlling you is going to be more important in some contexts versus other contexts. So in some contexts you need more control over the string, and in other contexts it doesn't matter as much. It's just looser and freer, and you can kind of strum however you want. You could even just use your thumb and go against the strings and it would be fine, like if you're just doing some casual strumming. So I hope this video is helpful for you. And if you want a more detailed step-by-step breakdown of things like what we just talked about, how to hold your hands when you play, how to develop your technique for lead guitar specifically, I have a course called the Perfect Practice Blueprint. And this course breaks down everything that you need to know to get your hands set up the right way, to build your technique and speed, and actually take it all the way to the point of using those techniques when you play musically, when you're improvising. So if you're interested in a step-by-step type of thing like that, check out the link below where you can check out the Perfect Practice Blueprint. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.